do I think that AI is going to take my job as a software engineer at CNN? My answer is no. I don't, at least in the foreseeable future, I don't see AI taking my job. I use AI every single day. I use an AI assisted coding IDE to write most, if not all of my code for me. I mean, I'm just talking all day to this tool, this chat, asking it to write different snippets of code and help me understand what different blocks of code do. And it's a lot better than me at a lot of things. I remember when I used to have to write all the code by hand, I would trip up over syntax errors. I would make a lot of mistakes as I was writing the code. Even like writing a simple function would take me 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes. But AI can just do that. It can just write the code, and it doesn't make syntax errors, and it's really good at executing specific instructions. But it still needs me to guide it and verify it. It's similar to, like, say you wanted to write a fantasy novel and you didn't know how to read, or you barely knew how to read, and you knew maybe just a few words, and you prompted AI, you said, can you go write me a fantasy novel? And it went and generated this huge fantasy novel for you. If you can't read, you can't verify that the plot is airtight, that the book even makes sense, that the book, or even if it makes sense and is airtight, is it good? It still needs, there's a human factor that needs your judgment. And I think it's similar with being a software engineer now. The AI can write so much of the code for you, but it still needs your judgment. It still needs to know, does this actually solve the problem that I need to solve? Like, does this actually complete the ticket? And if it does, great. Is it going to break something else elsewhere? Or is it solved in the right way? Is this going to work for 5 users but not for 1 million? Those types of questions, those types of guiding and verifying, I still really see the need for a software engineer, especially a hungry software engineer who's trying to grow and level up and learn the fundamentals and be able to guide and verify this AI tool even better. I don't see that job going away. But if there is somebody who just was getting by copying and pasting blocks of code and essentially just getting paid to type, essentially, you know what I mean? Maybe they have a engineer who tells them a lot of things what to do, and they just type it out. And it's just like, I'll give you an example. There was a period of my time where I was just building a bunch of front end components, and there was a period of time in my career where I was not making that much. I wasn't growing that fast as an engineer. I was way more interested, honestly, in things outside of being an engineer. I was really interested in sports and music. I was I was doing my job, but I was really just making a bunch of front end components, and over and over. And there was like a couple senior engineers who I was really leaning on, and I wasn't growing that much. That, like, if I was in that mindset, like, yeah, that I would have been replaced then, because then the senior engineer was basically just using me to type, was just saying, okay, Rishi, can you go and build these components and use and get the CSS right and things like that. That job is gone, because you can have AI write the CSS for you and build a component for you really quickly. But things like architecting systems, understanding whether something's performant, understanding whether the generated code actually solves the issue, I don't see that going away. And so I'm still going deep into engineering. I'm still trying to really grow fast in this field. And you know what? If it gets so good that it completely makes engineering a non-job, well, then we'll figure it out then. But right now, I don't see it taking my job, and I'm putting a lot of time in. So I thought I'd share my perspective. Hope you liked the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one. And actually, one more thing I want to say is that I actually find it really beneficial. My output is at least a 2 or 3x what it used to be. And I'm learning really, really fast because of AI, because now I still have all the other resources, documentation and Stack Overflow to learn things. But I also now have this whole other tool where I can ask it specific questions and learn a lot faster when it comes to code. And and grow by asking a very specific question, saying, I don't understand this specific line of code, and it's able to look at the context and explain it to me. Now I have an understanding, and I'm able to move forward. So how I've been working with it is I use AI to generate as much code as I can, and but I make sure I completely understand everything that I'm about to commit and push to the repo. Because I know once I commit and push it to the repo, a bunch of other engineers, if it doesn't make sense, they're gonna ask me, why'd you write this? I'm not gonna just say, this tool wrote it for me and I don't understand. That is a big part of being an engineer. If you're an engineer, you know this, you submit a pull request and other engineers are gonna review your code. And the reason for that is so that somebody doesn't submit something that's potentially dangerous to the repo. And if you rely 100% on AI and you don't even know what it's doing, your code's not going to get through. It's not going to get to the repo. Other engineers are going to ask you, why did you do this? And if you don't have an answer, that's not an answer. So anyway, I hope you like this video, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one.